Five. Four. Three. Two. One. What's going on, everybody? I'm talking to you and you. Welcome to a thing that we call the Cipher.
Welcome.
I am your host, Marcus the Kid Warren.
It's on like that, and everybody's welcome. Remember that?
And this is my
Keith
man.
Murray.
And with me is my man Muff. How are you doing today, sir?
I feel like the most beautifulest thing in this world, and it's like that.
I get in you. Anyway, speaking of getting in you, what are we getting into today, Muff?
Well, back up off of me and sit your ass down. That's what I'm talking about. Keith Murray. Hey, listen. Just for the move for LP, we're going to review his own album. He got his own stuff. Cancer for Cure.
Cancer for Cure.
Okay. Usually, I know, like, the way we do the show has been, usually I go into, like, this long soliloquy about what I like about the album, then I pass it over to you, right?
Okay.
So, but I'm going to try it a little bit different a little bit. I'm going to say a little bit here, then I'm going to pass it to you, then I'll come back on it. I like the album. I thought the album was solid, and I'll give some detail, but I'm really curious to see, I'm purposely curious to see what you thought about this album before I say anything.
Okay. Well, this thing, I wrote only a couple words down on my card today, so I'm not even looking at my cards right now. The one word, you can see, I wrote, I'm going to show you because I don't like people looking at my handwriting.
Okay.
Crazy.
Because you can't write.
It's very true. Very true. I ain't afraid. This album was crazy to me.
Okay.
Beat-wise, it was off the chain. Mad futuristic. And then you have LP's vocals. LP, and we've talked about this, about producer, writers, MCs. If you have somebody who can produce a dope beat and then spit mad crazy vocals over it, man, I give you so much respect and so many props that it's unlimited. I love this album. LP, I think is oh well. First, let me back up.
Okay.
His whole crew. All right. I mean, when you talk about Dilated Peoples, I love. I mean, you know, a big of Aesop Rock guy. Oh, Aesop Rock. Oh, Aesop Rock. Aesop Rock. I'm into these really metaphorically crazy MCs. These MCs who make their own hole and they just get their own niche and then they just find their way from there. I love LP because of that, and I just love this album.
Okay. This is what it is about LP. LP always straddles the fence to me between traditional hip hop and like alternative rock a little bit to me, depending what it is.
Okay.
And this album, just like was I'll Sleep When You're Dead, and even with I'd say Fantastic Damage in retrospect was a little bit more on the hip hop side, but I'll Sleep When You're Dead and Cancer for Cure to me is kind of like there's some songs in here you wouldn't be surprised to hear the rave.
Okay. I'll buy that.
You know what I mean? And which isn't bad. No. I love the fact that he always pushes the boundary of hip hop. And the cool thing about LP, where I know because I've been listening to it for years, an LP beat, if you're not familiar with his work, you could be listening to something that he made, not necessarily know it's him. We just got finished reviewing the Killer Mike album. Killer Mike is very much a traditional hip, even though it's LP style, you could say it's still hip hop. Okay, this album here, not so much. Not that it's not hip hop, but it's more like it's just a well produced album generally. But devoid to me of a label that you could stick on it, like, you know, okay, that's just hip hop. No, this is his music is just and I told my cousin this recently. There's a few guys in hip hop who are producers as opposed to just beat makers. Okay. I've always thought LP fell into the category of beat maker. I mean, excuse me, of a producer. He produces tracks. He produces albums. I'm not saying like you can listen to an LP song and you kind of give him carte blanche to take you where he wants you to go. You know what I'm saying? That's LP to me. Where some people's like, all right, man, come on, you don't give everybody that type of permission to do that. You know, you expect it. If I'm listening to Premier, who's pretty much my favorite producer, but I'm expecting Premier to do his boom bap. Pete Rock, kind of the same thing. Dr. Dre has permission for me to go to different places production wise. You know what I'm saying? But there's a category of hip hop producers to me that are producers as opposed to beat makers. I always thought that Dr. Dre was a producer. No ID is actually a producer. No ID, if you don't know, he kind of was like the he birthed Kanye West kind of as far as beats are concerned. His latest work you can find on Common's latest album. Okay, and also on Resurrection's Common's earlier album. But I don't want to digress too much from that. LP, great producer. You can listen, if you took his beats and you had like the lead singer of, who's the lead singer of Soundgarden? I forget. I don't want to get caught on the tip of my tongue, but anyway, yeah. Chris, somebody, or whatever. Or him, or somebody like, I could see like White Stripes, you know, singing over his tracks. I could see alternative rock vocalists singing on his tracks because they lend themselves to that a little bit. And that's why I like LP so much. Now, as far as this album is concerned, LP isn't the kind of artist that I give a guy who's a traditional hip-hop head and say, listen to LP and tell me what you think. He's kind of an acquired taste to me. You got to know what you're listening to. Okay. You know what I'm saying? You can't just be like, oh man, this is off the hook. Now I might give him Funk Crusher Plus from Company Flow back in those days, or maybe even his first album, where I could give him from a production standpoint Cannibal Ox's album. They'd be like, man, this dude off the hook. But if I gave somebody I'll Sleep When You're Dead and they'll listen to it, be like, oh, I don't know what to make of this. It's almost like the same thing as this, and that's the analogy I'll give to you and I've given to other people. You know, when I first started listening to MF Doom, I would give people a track of his, and they wouldn't know what to make of it. But after they've had it for a few weeks, they'd be like, this dude is off the chain, you know. But you have to kind of open your mind a little bit to kind of accept what it is he's doing, then you recognize his greatness. So that said, Cancer for Cure, as a whole, I think is a very good album. I love the way they do it MCs, because he's the kind of guy, and I think we were talking about, he's not as straightforward. He does have wordplay. He uses a lot of metaphors, and he can be very... He can almost shocking some of the things he says sometimes. You know, like for instance, if you listen to some of his earlier work, if you heard the lyrics to Stepfather Factory, it'll trip you out. You know what I mean? That's off of Fantastic Damage. The same thing with Cancer for Cure. He says some very edgy and very direct things, almost like how how Eminem used to be a little bit, saying like really like shocking things. He doesn't have the wordplay and the flow that I'm not comparing him to Eminem. They're two different MCs, but I mean, where they're similar is the fact that some of the things that come out of their mouth are shocking in a way that's different from a traditional hip-hop MC.
I think I feel what you're saying. I think the difference between LP and Eminem when it comes to the shocking lyrics, I think is just pretty much the delivery. Because LP was, I mean, Eminem was usually, he was somebody who would like say with his voice, he would make his voice go up and down, do that thing, do that thing you hate with his voice. LP is just straight up, look, yeah, here he is. Very, almost monotone, just like, and he'll just say crazy stuff like that. But yeah, I totally understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, you know what I mean? You know, he's just straight up, he's a New York MC too. You know what I mean? So the New York in him is big, he got the New York in him big time. You know, busting rhymes on the subway, that type of you know, flow. So, yeah, I think to me, he's like one of the most underrated hip-hop artists out there. I'm shocked that a lot of people are not really up on LP like they need to be, man. But that's true with a lot of hip hop anyway, man. And anyway, Cancer for Cure. Thought it was a great album. I think it's a great listen from top to bottom. If you understand his production work, if you're not familiar with his production work, go to YouTube, type in LP, give it a listen. Let us know what you think, because you know, like I say, I don't think he's for everybody, but I've always loved his production style. I've always loved the way he rhymed. I thought he was underrated as a rhymer as a result of that. So for me, the album gets a very solid 4.
You know what? The thing about it, you really touched on something here, which actually is making me think. The more and more you say it, is that if you give somebody who's listening to, even like a Lil Wayne, who I love by the way, and then you might have some other mainstream MCs, and then you give them like a LP or an Aesop Rock album, they might listen to it and be like, "What is this garbage? What is this that you can?" But that is a very good observation on your point. But anyway, I'm not going to get into that too much. But anyway, anybody who listens to this forum, I do believe you will enjoy this album, LP's Cancer for Cure. I also give it a very, very, very strong 4.
All right. So LP Cancer for Cure, 4 stars for my man, 4 stars for me. Also, we got anything coming up? What's coming up, man?
Well, actually, we have a show. We have Busy, I think it's Busy, and Twister's going to be coming to the tri-state area, and King Jester, my man, who's a local artist from around here, is going to be doing a show, and I'm going to be doing it with him.
Going to be up there spitting with him. Also, the mixtape coming out. I'm almost finished. I didn't tell you about that too. My fault. I'm telling you what I'm telling everybody. But why didn't you tell me first? Yeah, the mixtape is almost done. So, volume 2, Cipher mixtape is going to be off the hook.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Also been in the studio with my man Bob Darby. And you know, we've been doing a lot of stuff. I just spent some time in Brooklyn. You know, we have some fans over there, or I shouldn't say fans. We have supporters down there, or up there. Actually, yeah, down there. And you know, and it's just about the amount of love that we've been getting. And sorry we haven't been here for a minute, but I think we've just been a little bit crazy. We've been very, very busy doing what we do the past few weeks. But you guys missed us, and we love that about y'all. Thank you, thank you, as always. And don't forget to get a hold of us on our Gmail account. You can reach us at kidandmuff44@gmail.com. That's KIDDANDMUFF 44@gmail.com. You can also hit us up on Twitter. There's a lot of Twitter traffic going on lately.
Yep.
And you can hit us up on Twitter. We're also kidandmuff44 on Twitter. You can also hit us up on our Facebook account. We are the Cipher Crew. That's CIPHERCREW. Cipher Crew. And hit that like thingy. Hit the like thingy. All right?
All right now.
All right, man. LP, Cancer for Cure.
Cancer for Cure. All right now.
Check it out. And why? Because the Cipher said so, son. Peace.
Every time I write a rhyme, I feel like Megatron going against Optimus Prime for the very last time. Once y'all stand, once y'all fall, let me know you're not appalled. Put your hands up in the air, say yes, sure. We're all gathered to witness the